can I interest you in a resolution? Have you made any? Go on.
I haven't this year.
Go on, let's see. The joys of touching a horse could await you.
I like horses. Record a debut single. Yeah, I would do, but I'm busy trying to save the world.
Okay, save the world first.
Saving the world.
Then
I'll do
then
it.
do the.
You need a backing dancer for the music video.
You're in.
Sweet.
You're in. Now, we should say welcome back, because we've talked to you on this topic before, but it seems to be a really big deal this year. There's Veganuary. That's a thing.
It's twice as popular as last year.
I know a lot of my friends are doing a kind of vegan month to kind of kick things off.
Yeah.
So why do you think it's getting more popular, and why do you think it's so important?
Well, there's a whole host of reasons why it's important. I mean, it's disease preventative and reversing. The American College of Cardiology says if our LDL cholesterol is 57 milligrams per deciliter or less, we're heart attack proof. Number one killer of Westerners is heart disease, and we don't need it, and we can actually reverse it with this nutrition.
So even if you've spent your whole life, I'm 28,
something,
27, 28, and even at this point, I could change it.
By age 10, if you eat animal products, you've got heart disease, you've got atherosclerosis, filling up your arteries, and it's a time bomb. The minute you stop eating that and you eat whole plant foods, you can actually reverse. Number one killer, totally
So
avoidable.
was it completely health reasons for the reason you decided
That's
to do
why
this?
I went vegan, and then accidentally I'm researching nutrition, what recipes. I've accidentally seen what we do to animals in order to get their milk. You know, we have to kill the calves to get the milk because we don't want them drinking it. We kill baby chicks, boys, because they don't lay eggs. You know, none of us want to harm an animal. So I guess I went vegan for health, but I'm a vegan activist. I'm just trying to show the world, you know.
And it kind of seems to be that the more you read about it, the more research you do, the more it's kind of morally the right thing to be doing, as well as health-wise. But you were saying there are two different types of veganism, really. So what, you mentioned whole foods.
So I'm a big fan of whole foods, which means fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nut seeds, herbs, spices. Foods as they come in nature. And that's what we've eaten historically, and that's what makes us the most well. Of course, if people are going vegan maybe to save the environment or, you know, for the sake of the animals, and they're not so worried about health, then there are other options now readily available all over the place.
And we should say that from a health perspective, of course, talk to your doctor. They will give you kind of lots of advice, especially about the kind of heart disease and the cholesterol thing. But for things that you can quite easily start to change at home, where does it begin? What kind of things? So carbohydrates, proteins. It would be proteins for me, I think, that I'd worry about.
Well, you're a big guy, and you, I presume you eat a lot and you gym a lot. So particularly the protein intake, how easy is that to get into your diet every day?
It's virtually impossible. If you're eating whole foods, it's impossible not to eat really adequate protein, because anything that's been alive by definition has protein in it. For a bodybuilder, if they're really going to extremes, then they want to eat more of the legumes, you know, like beans, lentils, chickpeas, that sort of thing. Grains are good, particularly quinoa. It's a really 16 grams of protein per 100 grams dry weight. And
the worry is, I suppose, that it will get a little bit boring, but we're going to be touching on recipes and things later on in the show. Where do people start, though?
Breakfast, I guess.
Start at the beginning of the day. But is it research for you? Did you have to look up loads of things?
Yeah, because we are worried. We are told these things. You need meat for protein, you need meat for calcium. But any essential nutrient in animals came from plants originally. We're just getting it second hand. It's a bit like eating mud because we need the water. You know, we don't need to eat animals because we don't need the cholesterol, saturates, trans fats, artificial and natural hormones.
Does this happen to you quite a lot, where you're like, just try it, and then it turns out to be lovely?
Oh, yes.
Because most people, they just don't believe that vegan food's going to taste nice.
This is the thing. So over the past year, my younger brother and his girlfriend have gone vegan, and you know, I didn't know anyone who'd ever gone vegan before, and I went obviously to see him at Christmas time, and we had lots of vegan food, which obviously I've never tried before, and it is, you know, really tasty. I know you shouldn't kind of be surprised by it, but there shouldn't be that much of a difference.
Really, when we
meet,
tastes. We smother it in plants, whether it be a tomato sauce, herbs, spices. It's all from plants, to be honest, you know.
And so what have we got here? What have you brought in for us? Because
this smells good.
They're masquerading as meat. They look like meat, but they are, of course, not.
So these are available all in Norwich, locally. So this one from Beer Kitchen on the market. It's a beetroot burger.
Okay. And it's even got a great kind of meaty colour, which I know is an odd thing to say. But, I mean, It's interesting that it still looks like meat. The texture is even kind of interestingly meaty, but it's going to be completely vegan.
Yeah.
And what about the sausage rolls? What's in those?
Sausage rolls, they're from Tofurai, which is the UK's first artisan vegan dairy and cafe. They're really popular in China. This is the first UK one.
Right here in Norwich?
They're the Norwich first.
Oh my God, cool.
So they make these tofu-based sausage rolls. And then...
I'm going to try eat it. Okay, do you want burger or sausage roll?
I want to go sausage roll.
Okay, you do that. I'm going to try the burgers. And so if you are trying to do this, you are dropping crumbs everywhere. If you're trying to do this at home, what kind of things do you need in the pantry as kind of staple? What goes into everything you make? I'm going to take a bite of this while you
So I personally don't really make this kind of food. So this is the more normal end of eating.
That was really good.
Thanks. I never get better at eating on camera. Awful.
It's not easy stuff.
Oh, it's really nice.
But you can make burgers from Whole Foods with quinoa, beans, things, herbs, spices. Brilliant recipe on my YouTube channel, quinoa and chickpea burgers.
And obviously we can find more stuff from you on your YouTube channel. So do you want to give that a little plug before we kind of let you go?
Yeah, so YouTube/HenSherbivore is my channel.
And we can look you up, and you've got some recipe videos.
Got 600 videos, recipes, what I eat in a day.
And just tutorials.
Nutrition,
You're so knowledgeable. Lastly, these are great, and these are kind of little snack bars, white almond candy bars.
These are the less healthy end of vegan. But for people who are trying to eat just to save the planet and the animals, not so worried about health, you can get anything. This is from the Little Shop of Vegans, newly opened on Magdalen Street in Norwich. And it's all
so well. We're so well equipped. Listen, thank you so much for coming in. You've taught us absolutely loads. That burger was great.
I like the sausage roll.
Delicious. We're going to eat those in a minute.